Good evening, everyone. Central and southern Mississippi could be pelted with snow and ice this week.
Just what we all want. We could get up to 6 inches of snow overnight, tomorrow, and into Friday morning. Chief Meteorologist Tony Mastro has the latest. And Tony, you say this is a developing storm that we really don't know exactly yet where it's going to land.
Well, the problem here is that it hasn't developed yet. This is something that's going to be ongoing during the day tomorrow.
Record snowfalls are blanketing parts of the East Coast.
They're already getting it. Hundreds of flights have been delayed out of Baltimore and Washington, D.C. In Baltimore, dozens of flights are affected. The area there is covered in snow. As of this morning, 66 inches had been reported. That's the most ever since 1893 when they started keeping records.
Back here at home at the Jackson Evers International Airport, one Southwest flight scheduled to arrive from Baltimore tonight was canceled. 2 American airline flights arriving from Dallas were delayed and are coming in later than scheduled.
MDOT crews are on standby tonight. The state's transportation agency says it has plenty of salt and rock to spread on the roads. 3 trucks will be used to de-ice interstates and highways around the metro. News Channel 12's Ross Adams shows us what Hinds County is doing to get ready for the potential winter storm. Winter weather's a big story tonight at 6.
At the Hinds County Emergency Operations Center,
we've been in close contact with the National Weather Service.
Director Jimmy Lewis says in addition to keeping his eye on the radar,
also we're notifying all our government agencies.
Lewis says the Operations Center will officially activate Thursday night. He says if or when the snow falls, first responders will be critical to the county's response.
The volunteer fire departments in the county, and along with the sheriff departments and other agencies out there, they will be our eyes and ears out there where they will inform us of road conditions that we can't get to.
The EOC is short-staffed. In order to fill in the gaps, some Hinds County employees and private citizens have all agreed to volunteer their time, come into the center, answer phones to make sure that first responders get the information they need when they need it. Tonight we're live in South Jackson. Ross Adams, WJTV, News Channel 12.
The county leaders plan to have a conference call with the National Weather Service to get the latest on the forecast and will update plans as needed.
Well, Jackson is opening 3 cold weather shelters for residents who don't have heat and need to get out of the cold. Brumfield Shelter for Men on South Gallatin Street is already open tonight, as well as the Gateway Rescue Mission for Men. It's also on Gallatin. And Matt's House for Women on Adele Street is open. And for men and women, they can go to New Jerusalem Church on Flowers Street. News Channel 12, as you can imagine, is closely following this winter storm. We want to make sure that you're up to date with the latest information. To see live Viper radar, you can go to WJTV.com, and you can also sign up for weather warnings and alerts so that you get the information as we get it. To find out the latest, just type in the keyword snow in the keyword box on the top left-hand side of our homepage.
A new report released today shows that Mississippi needs a lot of money to upgrade roads and bridges, money that isn't there. The Washington-based research group that conducted the study released the findings at the state capitol today. And according to the research, Mississippi needs more than $12.5 billion to keep up with improvements to roads and bridges and to alleviate traffic congestion and spur economic growth. The report says unless Congress adopts a new transportation plan, the state will be short $6 billion in transportation funding over the next 10 years. A Jackson family claims that their 12-year-old daughter was viciously attacked at school this week. According to her parents, Takira Fields now needs expensive oral surgery to repair the damage to her mouth. Her parents say another student threw her to the ground Monday morning at school. The 6th grader attends Peoples Middle School. The 12-year-old boy accused of attacking her now faces a simple assault charges. Takira's father is asking the school district to pay for her oral surgery. He says if there was a security guard on duty, his daughter wouldn't have been hurt.
You got security guards running around their school. They don't need to be on no cell phone walking around doing other things. You need to be monitoring them kids because that's your job. And if you can't do that, you know, something need to be did.
News Channel 12's Melissa Faith Payne talks with Takira about what happened and the possible long-term effects.
Takira Fields was having a great year. Her dream of becoming a model was coming true, and just a few days ago, she found out that she'd made the drill team at her school. But then, the unthinkable happened.
What happened?
My mouth hit the floor.
Your mouth hit the floor?
She says a classmate slung her to the ground when she told him his belt was on wrong. As a result, her tooth is broken and she has to take pain medicine until her oral surgery.
My mouth been hurt, my head been hurt.
But the surgery costs more than $1,300, and though she has dental insurance, it won't cover the procedures she needs.
Like my two big chip like this.
Takira's father is pressing charges against the other student and seeking advice from an attorney. He says the school did very little to protect his daughter, and he wants to know why. In Jackson, Melissa Faith Payne, WJTV News, Channel 12.
Well, in a statement, JPS says student safety is always its top priority and goes on to write, the district is following its usual procedure by conducting a thorough investigation and will take appropriate actions as may be needed according to our code of conduct.
A Jackson woman accused of taking advantage of an elderly man in her care remains behind bars tonight. Meanwhile, the investigation continues into a separate case to determine if she neglected another client who died. Authorities arrested 34-year-old Stephanie Fields yesterday on several charges, including identity theft. According to the Attorney General's office, a grand jury indicted Fields on charges that she used a 90-year-old man's name and social security number to get several credit cards. Investigators tell us the victim is Troy Stingley. They say she used his credit cards, then racked up thousands of dollars in damages on the cards she used a stolen identity to get. Stingley's daughter thinks that there might be other victims besides her dad.
I feel like if she's done this to my father, if they dig a little more, they're going to find out she's done it to her other clients as well.
Stingley's daughter says her father lived in homes Field ran from 2007 to 2009, and there were a history of problems. She says her father is currently staying at the state VA nursing home. Stingley's daughter says at times while her dad was in Field's care, she didn't know exactly where he was living, and says at one point she even had to file a missing persons report.
Stephanie Fields is also being investigated for running an unlicensed home where a woman was found dead last month. Janice Hollins' body was found on her bed. The coroner says that she was extremely cold when she was found. The coroner is now investigating whether Hollins died of neglect. Right now she's waiting on toxicology results, but says that there are indications Hollins died from hypothermia. News Channel 12 was the only station there as police investigated the day Hollins was found. The coroner says Hollins was found in her bedroom in the back of this house on Barrett Avenue. 2 broken windows in the room were boarded up. Police say the people who lived in the house were using the oven for heat. The family tells us that Hollins had mental challenges and had been living in special homes like this for years.
Mississippi Senate votes for a pay cut for lawmakers to try to save the state some money. The bill passed 39-2 in the Senate. The salaries would be cut by 10% under the plan, and if it's approved, the salary cuts would start this summer for Lieutenant Governor Phil Bryant and the Speaker of the House, and next year for lawmakers. The bill is now heading to the House of Representatives. Still ahead on News Channel 12 at 6, Smiles for Kids. It's Children's Dental Health Month. We'll find out what UMC's School of Dentistry is doing to give our Mississippi kids a healthy smile.
Hearts Against AIDS is this weekend. Find out what you can do to help raise money and awareness about the disease. But time now to head into the Storm Team 12 Weather Lab. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Tony Mastro.